Everyone who played Minecraft has to start at some point. For some, it's more recent than for others, but we all remember our first time constructing a dirt hut and hiding from the night. And in today's video, we're going to 100% complete my first version of Minecraft. For me, this is the 1.3, where we, for example, didn't even have this biome right here. This was definitely an experience, so stay tuned for all that's about to come. And also, don't forget to tell me which was your first version down in the comments. Alright then, let's jump right in, shall we? Now just a heads up, Minecraft used to hand out achievements basically like a guide and not like an achievement. So, first off, you need to open your inventory, then you collect wood. It is something that isn't really an achievement, but more feels like a step-by-step guide until you beat the game. And that is why I will not be really showing that much footage of the early game, because not much will be happening. Except for... Yeah, I really like the nostalgia of the old cow sound. And the old skeleton sound. God, there really were a lot of old sounds that I really forgot. But after this small dip into my nostalgia, I instantly went for two more really easy achievements. Time to strike and time to farm. Both of which required me to make wooden tools for whatever reason. I don't know why, I think that got patched out later, but yeah, I instantly threw them away after. Then I got a few easy follow-up achievements, like Cow Tipper, where I literally just threw myself the piece of leather I already had. And after that I went into the jungle to maybe find some melons. Little did I know, after 10 minutes of searching I read a Wikipedia entry which said that melons did not generate in jungles until Minecraft 1.7. Yeah, that's one way to waste 10 minutes of your life. After this slightly embarrassing failure, I went down into a mine to get some valuable resources like gold and diamonds, both of which I will be needing for future achievements. And let me tell you one thing. The caves were absolutely brutal back then. I went through so many caves, saw so many blocks, and strip mined for an ungodly amount of time compared to today. But at last, I found 5 diamonds, which were precisely enough for what I would need. Now actually 5 diamonds might not even be enough, since there was an old achievement called Overkill, in which I would need to inflict 10 damage on an enemy. And for that I would need a very lucky enchanted diamond sword. Since anvils were not a thing, I could not just combine 2 swords. However, I had a smart idea using one of the most useless enchantments that you could ever get. But before we come to that part, let's do some easy nether achievements, like entering the nether, killing a blaze, and defeating a ghast at 10... Okay, well, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame... Okay, fool me thrice. Okay, fool me quadrice. Fool me quines? Fool me 5 times. Shame on you. Now, with all the nether achievements done, I pulled a Marie Antoinette and said, let them eat cake. Fun fact, the phrase let them eat cake was actually never said by Marie Antoinette and was rather attributed to her about 50 years after the French Revolution. But that is enough of a history lesson for today. We are going back to block game where I just made myself some bread. But that bread aside, I started construction, probably the most time consuming achievement on all of Minecraft 1.3. I'm of course talking about on a rail. Now some of you who did that achievement back in 1.8 might be saying, on a rail, that is pretty easy. You just make a circle of rails and let a minecart drive on it for like 10 minutes. Keep in mind, in Minecraft 1.3, the achievement was not yet updated, meaning I had to travel 1 kilometer from where I started, meaning I'd need at least 1000 rails. And while mining iron for that achievement, I discovered something illegal, and I don't know how this generated. Now just glossing over some unnecessary mining bits, I actually caught myself a friend. I named him Bob. And then I cooked him in the furnace right after. He got me an achievement, and he was quite delicious. But rest in peace, Bob. Next up, I did a sniper duel with a skeleton that was nearby, which I of course nailed in the first shot. Don't show that footage, no, my dignity, no! Which I of course nailed first try, don't pay attention to the part before this. And here now comes my brilliant idea. Usually you'd need like sharpness 4 to inflict more than 10 damage, but with my smite 2 sword and a strength potion I can actually inflict 10 damage on any undead mobs. So if I just hit a skeleton I would inflict more than 10 damage, which gives me the achievement. Next in line we have to ride a pig off a cliff, for which I would need a saddle. And saddles are actually a lot more rare in this version as there are no specific villager traits. Nonetheless, I went to a desert village and traded for like half an hour until I just gave up because most of the villagers I needed despawned. But I got lucky and found a desert dungeon right after. So now with my newly acquired saddle, I ran back home, found pig, strapped the saddle on it and gave it a nice and gentle push. And then finally, after over an hour of farming ender pearls, I was there. The strong okay, I'm fine. But even though I had a pretty lucky 2-eye spawn, I was still lacking 3 eyes of ender. I had the blaze powder, so we all know what that means. Go up and stab some black people. After all this boring preparation work, I just jumped into the end and instantly had a heart attack. After I gracefully recovered from that small incident, it was time for the real boss battle. Now with the dragon's health sufficiently lowered, it is time for the final attack. And so we had done it. All achievements collected, but one. On a rail. Of course I'd saved myself the most difficult for last. And I wish I could show you amazing content that came out of me mining iron and placing rails for 2 hours straight. But it just simply doesn't produce that content. It's not a thing. So here's me getting the achievement. Woo! Woo! Kinda anticlimactic, not gonna lie. But I mean, I did it. I got all the achievements. Here you go. Here's proof. Well, that's kinda it, huh? I mean, this was all filmed live on my Twitch, by the way, if you want to go follow, you know. It's actually scientifically proven that people that follow me on Twitch have 25% better eyesight. So yeah, I wouldn't miss out on that, and thank you for watching, and goodbye!